What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at Yesteryear, which is a void pulse rifle introduced in season 18, and the way in which you can obtain this pulse rifle is through playing Gambit. Looking at the base stats, this is an adaptive frame pulse rifle with a fairly decent impact stat, kind of like range straight down the middle, and then stability, handling and reload speed very near each other. What this weapon does, however, have in it that differentiates it from other pulse rifles is a unique setup between trait 1 and trait 2 that you can have that is only available on the Yesteryear. Starting us off right with a PvP setup of this, and in our barrel slot we are going to be throwing in Arrowhead Break. Arrowhead Break is a way for us to decrease the bounce intensity, aka the recoil of this weapon, which this pulse rifle has a lot of, and it gives us a little bit of additional handling just to make the weapon feel better. It is going to be difficult to land shots with this weapon, especially with the trait 1 and 2 combination that we have here, so anything that we can do to increase our accuracy and just make it a smidge easier is going to benefit us in the long run. We are going to be using ricochet rounds in our magazine because we want the additional range and the stability that comes from that. And then when we get to trait 1 and trait 2, this is where the Yesteryear shines. Now in trait 1 we're going to take the old favorite Outlaw. Outlaw basically says that precision kills greatly decrease your reload time. So generally speaking, with a pulse rifle engagement, you'll oftentimes hit with your burst, you'll hit chest, head or something like that. And so when you finish off with a precision kill, it means that you'll be able to reload very quickly. Now that directly feeds into the unique trait that is on Yesteryear, which is Desperado. Now Desperado says that when you reload after precision kill, so exactly the same effect as Outlaw, you will get an increased rate of fire, and this is really where this gun pisses out bullets. And this is again why it's important for you to be able to control the recoil and to be able to be as accurate as possible, because this gun is going to turn into a fucking hose. And so this is very great for when you're in situations you got 2 or 3 people pushing your position or something like that. If you get that first precision kill off, then you're just going to empty out your mag on the other 2 guys and just murder them. Now when it comes to the origin trait, again here, really awesome on this pulse rifle, you actually have a choice between 2. You have Suros Synergy, which is unique to all Suros weapons, but then specifically this weapon also has gun and run. Now, we're gonna use Suros Synergy on the PvP side, just simply due to the fact that this says that when you reload, the weapon gets more handling and it reduces flinch. This pairs so well with this kind of reload setup that we already have within the Pulse, where we're trying to get that first precision kill, so we get the fast reload, we get the speed up shots from Desperado, and now we also have better handling and we're actually flinching less when we are getting shot back. So Suros Synergy works really well in this regard, specifically in PvP, and even though we have access to that second origin trait, it is still the better option in my opinion to go for the Synergy. Now on the masterwork here, we absolutely want to be slapping some more range onto this. If we put a range masterwork on here, this gets us close to 60 in terms of range, which is kind of like where you want to be if you want to be fighting against scouts or people trying to hit you from a little bit further away. You can absolutely put in more stability in here. The stability and the range with this setup as I have it here right now is going to be exactly the same, just under 60. But you can lose a little bit of range if you feel more comfortable being closer to your enemies, and you can beef up the stability of the weapon even more. I think this comes down to a preference or a taste thing. For me, I generally always inch out range in these kinds of things because I feel like you have to compete with people at longer ranges. But what has to also be said is in the current meta, which is a short range meta, a sidearm meta, it's probably a good idea for you to maybe swap out the range for the stability, now that I think of it. But in any case, this can change over time, and we can of course move out of the sidearm meta, and then maybe the range wins better. Last but not least, we put a counterbalance stock in here. The counterbalance stock is just gonna further on reduce our recoil by an amount. So the combination of the counterbalance stock and the arrowhead break is going to essentially kill that bounce intensity all the way from half, like 50, down to 5, which is super manageable and makes Desperado feel a lot more, easy to control and easy to capitalize from. Whereas before, if you have this massive amount of recoil, you're just gonna fling out a whole bunch of bullets and only some of them are gonna hit. Then looking at the PvE side of things, we're going to make a few subtle changes here, but we're going to kind of keep the identity of what we built for this weapon in PvP. So absolutely sticking with arrowhead break there. The recoil reduction is just too good not to do it. This thing kicks like a fucking mule, so you want to be able to control that. And then we pair that in the magazine with flared magwell. Now flared magwell is going to give us faster reload speed, so again, we are now not going to be able to capitalize on the increased reload speed from Outlaw, but we still want this weapon to reload fast because this is going to be the primary way in which we murder trash. This is going to be our trash disposal weapon. So flared magwell here is going to give us a little bit of more stability, which is good, and it's going to give us that increase in reload speed so we can get back in the fight faster. Now in our trait 1, we are going to slap on subsistence. Subsistence says that when you defeat targets, your magazine partially reloads from reserves. And so the point is that what you have to do here, right, is you're going to proc Desperado in a creative way here. You're going to get your first kill, which is going to be a precision kill. But because you get that kill, subsistence is going to up your mag a little bit, which is fine. It doesn't matter. That's all good. But the main thing here is you're going to reload after that first kill. Now you proc Desperado and now you start opening up. And as you mow stuff down, subsistence packs more rounds back in so you can capitalize from the 6-second window that Desperado is giving you to just completely shit out bullets. So this combination works fairly well in my opinion. Now you have a whole bunch of choices here. You can absolutely use something like Ambitious Assassin, which also rolls in trait 1. You can stick with Outlaw, which is nothing wrong with that. But I definitely think that you have this unique combination of subsistence, which essentially keeps topping you up the more you mow down enemies, and you are shooting faster because you are shooting with Desperado. So you're able to mow down faster and you have more ammo to do it with. Now also worth mentioning is that the second trait on this weapon can load with a whole bunch of shit like Dragonfly and Wellspring and Golden Tricorn. So this weapon is really ridiculous in terms of like the amount of things that you can get on here. It's phenomenal. And I mean, it even has an opportunity to roll Rampage. So this is pretty much like a pulse that can roll almost any combination in the game, plus then, you know, this unique thing of having Desperado in there. So definitely run Gambit a whole bunch of times, get a couple of different versions of this, because it could be that subsistence in Desperado is not like the GOAT for you as it is for me, and maybe subsistence in Rampage feels better for you. But because Desperado is unique to this weapon, and because we have other pulses, we have other weapons that can have that Rampage combo on there, I just felt like it's uniquely suited here. Now we have two choices with origins here, and again in the PvP side we stuck with old favorite Cirrus Synergy, but absolutely when we are rolling the PvE version of this weapon, we can do gun and run, which is unique here as well. And this pretty much says that when you rapidly defeat enemies, you kill, and which you will be doing with the combination of those traits, then you get bonus sprint speed. Now the higher the value of the things that you kill, whether it's guardians, powerful combatants, high value targets, so that means that you get this bonus quicker. So if you have to kill a bunch of enemies to activate this, but if you kill like a champion, then it's basically going to activate immediately. This is going to allow you to sprint around faster, which is always handy in, doing strikes fast or doing certain activities fast. So anything that can increase your mobility and just make you go quicker is going to be awesome. Our range masterwork here once again works very well. Generally speaking, our stability, handling, and reload speed are very close to one another there. So bringing the range kind of like on par with them, with all of them kind of running around the halfway mark around 50, means that the gun just overall feels balanced across all of those different traits, or rather all of those different stats. And then last but not least, since this is our trash disposal weapon, absolutely we will be using minor spec. That's going to give us another almost 8% of additional damage on those rank and file lesser enemies. As usual, here is your one-shot cheat sheet with both the PvE and the PvP setup that I just discussed on. You can just screenshot this and keep it so that you don't have to keep coming back to the video. And that's also going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Let me know how you've set up your Yesteryear. Is this a pulse rifle that you enjoy using? Is it something that you're still trying to farm out? Also, let me know in the comments down below which other weapons you're looking for me to bring to this series. If you check in the description of this video, you'll see I've done a whole shitload of these. There is a whole shitload more coming, but I can definitely take some suggestions and add them to the list, bump them to the top, or so something like that. Other than that, thanks again. It's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are in the world. And until next video, fucking cheers.
They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me.